Hey, do you see this? I've had it for like 2 years. I just recently found out it's something called amelia, which is just a little bit of keratin stuck under the skin. You can go to a dermatologist and they can remove it like that, like no big deal. And I'm like, well, motherfucker, I thought I was just getting old and had to deal with these irregularities.
I know. It's really actually quite awesome. I went to the dermatologist a few weeks ago and same thing. I had some things. She was just like, yep, no problem. Literally didn't even tell her beforehand. She was just like, I'm in here. Let me just take a needle, cut that shit off.
I get nervous when I go to the doctor these days, any kind of Western medicine doctor, because they love to do procedures and things and they make it sound like it's no big deal. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. You're the doctor. But then I've had times where I've left and I've been like, why did I get talked into that? And so now sometimes before I go into the doctor, I make a pact with myself of I'm going in for this and this alone. And if they throw anything else out there, I'm not going to. But
Just say no.
but I hear what you're saying. The other day, I went in for a mole right here, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll take care of that right now."
Yeah,
And I'm just
easy
like,
peasy.
"Sweet."
Yeah. But literally, when I left, I was like, what should I do to take care of it? And she was like, just read the pamphlet. Just read this piece of paper. Goodbye. I'm not good with directions. I'm a verbal processor. I'm like, you don't know me. I will be the one that gets infected because I didn't read the directions.
I see that in my head as if it were a sitcom, and you're standing at the door, and she's like, "Just read the pamphlet," and then the camera zooms out, and the door is shut, and you're like, "I'm screwed."
That's exactly how I felt. I was like, oh God, there's a lot of
Oh
room for
no.
error, and I'm going to find it.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. I love
So
that.
that brings me to what I wanted to share with you, which is the wallpaper I ordered.
Oh
Look how
yeah.
big it is.
Oh, you got the sample.
I didn't read the fine print. I figured the sample was just
You were
like,
like $6.95. I'm
yes,
sold.
I'll take the sample, right? I go to open it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to set it up. Here we go. Wait a second. Where's the rest of it?
Well, let's see. Put it up behind you. It's great. Looks good.
This is the story of my life, though. I don't think to read the mentions. I got
Oh,
a
that's
coupon, so
hilarious.
that's good.
The
Okay,
coupons will offset the cost of the sample.
exactly. Yeah, we got those mixed tile things, like those pictures that you could just stick to the wall. And again, I estimated, I was like, that seems like the right size. They came and they were so small. Like, what did you order? I'm like, well, I was thinking we'd get a bunch together. These are tiny though. So then I was like, oh, I need bigger ones. So then I went back and ordered them and they were huge. It was like, why did you just measure?
You're like, because I like paying shipping, babe, and I like waiting.
I think they called me type C mom.
That's just like the more laid back one.
I try so hard to be A, but it's so not natural that I probably land somewhere in B.
I'm definitely not an A, but it's kind of fun to dabble in it, like when you're like off to a good start in the morning. Actually, it mirrors perfectly how I was in school. I was an A and B student. If the A was easy to get, I took it. If it was hard to get, I just took the B. And that's kind of how I am in parenting. I'll do an A's day of work if it's easy. And if it's not, I'll just take the B and move on.
Yeah, man, I could really relate to that.
One of my good friends in college, she was a type A personality and she made straight A's. I would just not go to class unless required. One day she said, "How do you just not go to class?" I just looked at her and I went, "I just get up and I don't go there." And she was like, "Oh."
You're impossible. I did try and go to class a lot. It was so much easier for me to go to class than read the book. Back to the directions. I do much better if someone's telling me what to do. I'm taking notes with lots of doodles on the side, and then I can go back and reference my notes because I was 1,000% all-nighters every final.
You know what is so funny? We've talked about ADHD before. My husband is diagnosed with ADHD. I think I have tendencies. And my daughter, she's 6 and she's totally wired like us. At night, as it starts to get later, you just see her get more wired. So last night, she got really into a project. She decided she was Cinderella and she was going to clean the entire house. Seriously, at 10 o'clock, we're standing at the doorway. I'm like, "Sweetie, do you think maybe we could brush your teeth and put your nightgown on?" "No, I'm not done being Cinderella." I think it's just funny. She has the same wiring that we have. And I also am a little bit like, we're going to have to help her with this.
Yeah.
This isn't going to serve her all the time.
Right. But I got diagnosed later in life. And it has helped me so much to understand the diagnosis and figure out how to work with my brain. My dad, my whole life, he had this big notepad that said to-do list, and it had little bullets on it. One of the things he always had, every morning I sit down and I do my to-do list. And I was like, Dad, I don't need your to-do list. I have a great memory. I got it. Had I taken that advice 20 years ago?
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I have tendencies for sure. And I read this thing once that said if something that you need to work on gets put in a drawer, you might as well have burned it because now it's gone. One reason I keep my phone on me a lot and do stuff even though I'm with my kids, and I say that because I would like to not be on my phone when I'm with my kids. When that thought comes back in of something I need to order or something I have to do, if I don't at least put it on a to-do list, it will be gone again. I've tried too to just carry a little notepad around. Just pull that out and make a little note when it comes to me. My own judgment that's like, oh, just do it later. You're with your kids. But I'm also like, but the thing just came in my brain. And if I let it go, who knows when it'll come back?
I cannot relate any more than that completely. I've now learned it is helpful for me to write things down. Despite years of forgetting things over and over.
It helps you remember it too, right? Same with me.
And that's why I went to class, is because if I went to class and I listened and I wrote it down, it stuck. If I read it, I didn't remember it. But yeah, I think it'd be so funny to see like a lady at the playground just whipping out her little pad with her little pen. But I think it's also like a great idea. I'm like, I would get a little pad and a little pen and just be like, oh, hold on. There's a lot of reasons I think I did not realize that I was diagnosed with that. I saw my whole family behave in the way that I did, and I thought all my friends had OCD. I literally thought that all of them had OCD and I was normal. When I told my friends from high school that this was going on, and they were all like, duh. You didn't know? You didn't know that you were the weird one? That you had the problem? And I was like, no. I just thought you guys were very stressed out. Yeah.
You didn't know?
Organized. I thought that you were special.
That's actually amazing, though. Kudos to you that you made it all the way through school without internalizing anything anyone else was thinking about you. You just were, I'm going to plant my flag. I'm doing this right.
And if that doesn't say I've been living in my own damn world, which is a little ADHD.
I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So it wasn't until I had kids that I was like, oh, shit. And people would say, oh, just because you're a new mom.
No, it's just that a new mom accentuates it even more. It was there. It just makes it even worse.
Right. I'm like, how come all my other new mom friends remembered the snacks and everybody has wipes?
Have I talked to you about neurofeedback?
A little bit.
I found out about neurofeedback and I thought it sounded interesting. I'm like, we're all going to go in and get these assessments. After we did these QEEGs, it came back like, your brain is incredibly dysregulated. You're actually slightly dissociated, and you've likely been that way since you were a child. I was just like, holy shit, it makes so much sense. My whole life I've been in therapy being like, I just don't really feel like I'm here. I don't really feel like I'm in my body. I feel like I'm basically a head and my body walks me around. And I feel like if I existed, it would be from like here up. And then I did neurofeedback. And it changed my life, honestly. That was just 6 months ago, but it all has changed my life.
Do you feel embodied?
I think I'm still learning what that means, but I feel more playful. I feel happier. I used to think being a mom was the most boring / overwhelming thing combined. I was constantly bored and overwhelmed at the same time, which is an awful feeling. And that was also a very confusing thing for me because I always had wanted to be a mom, and even in the midst of all that, I still did, but I was miserable at the same time. I was judging myself hardcore for it. I was like, God, I'm just a bad person and a bad mom, but it was just my brain made it incredibly hard to be embodied and be present. I've done more research on what was going on with my brain. It said, you've likely had this your whole life, but just the stress of motherhood accentuated it. And now that I can be present, I'd say like 80% better than I could before. It's a totally different experience. But that's the thing. Motherhood definitely does accentuate and exacerbate things that were already there.
Yes.
And kind of bring it to the foreground. And then you're like, what is wrong with me?
Mm-hmm. And everyone's just says like, oh, just because you're a mom. But you're like, I feel like other people don't feel like this.
Right. Always remember, I was just talking to a plumber one day when he was working on some stuff at my house. And I said something like, I'm tired. And he goes, how many kids do you have? And I was like, one. And I was like, what's wrong with me that one kid is totally stressing me out? Who are these women that have 5 and 6? And how are they not just imploding inside all the time? I still don't understand those moms. I'm glad they exist in the world. Yes. They're the ones that I think really love the work of caretaking and of mothering, which I've actually heard that ADHD brains don't like caretaking work because it's this day in, day out, the same type of stuff. Whereas ADHD brains like more short bursts of fast projects.
Yes, I would totally agree.
I would agree with that too.
I think I probably would have struggled to be a stay-at-home mom versus a working mom. I hate cleaning. I don't like cooking. Like I do it. Yeah, one of my girlfriends from college, she was actually my roommate. And she was visiting from Chicago, and I was putting my kids in the bath or something, and I came back down and she had like tidied up my kitchen, and I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And she was like, well, you know, you're a mom, you get it. Do you just feel inclined to just clean things up? And I was like, no, I don't feel that at all. I don't know what that is, but
I look around at me and see the chaos and wish it would disappear, but I don't feel inclined to do it.
Exactly. It's that whole thing. I do way better without clutter, but to declutter is very difficult for me.
Oh God, it takes so much effort. Yeah, that's where I am too. Before having kids, do you know Marie Kondo, who wrote the Tidy book?
Yeah.
I had Marie Kondo in my place twice.
You hold the things and say,
does it bring me joy? Sometimes. I learned though, that's just not possible. There are many things that you need in a house that won't bring you joy, but are functionally necessary, you know? So I think that's the follow-up question. Does this bring you joy? No. Is it functionally necessary? Yes. Okay, I'm going to keep it.
It's a two-parter.
Because it's just like, it's like, for example, it's like, my hemorrhoid cream, does it bring me joy? No. Do I need it? Sometimes, sure.
It's a strong yes at times.
So, I mean, it just didn't make total sense. But since being a mom, I have the desire to get rid of the clutter. That's been one of the hardest things of mothering for me, is just the accumulating piles all over the house. I feel like no one else in the house cares about the piles. They don't even see that they're there. I see the piles. Every fucking day I see those piles. And every day they like laugh at me. And I've just had to learn to turn the volume down on them. I only have energy for so much. Do I want to give it to a pile? No, I'm not doing that. The piles get to stay.
So, and this is my question would be like, so for those moms that have a lot of kids, do they not care about the piles, or are they really good at not accumulating the piles?
Do the kids do the piles? Do her older children do the piles as one of their chores each week? At the end of the day, between resetting the house or cooking, the piles are just last priority. So I don't know what those moms do about the piles. They must have them. Unless, like I said, their oldest daughters are interested in deconstructing the piles.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you would rather cook instead of clean?
I do enjoy cooking. I find it very therapeutic, but I've just noticed that it does not bring me joy at this phase in my life the way it did prior to kids, and the way that I'm sure it will when the kids just get a little bit older. But now it's like the constant distractions. I'm like burning stuff constantly. So I'll go in the kitchen. I'll be like, let me whip this up. Oh, we need a diaper change. Oh, the milk just got spilled. Oh, there's a bear out in the front yard and so is my child. And I'm running off and I forget that I even was cooking anything. The other day I went to the kitchen to make some hot chocolate. And then I went down really quick to the basement. I then completely forgot there's hot chocolate boiling on the stove. Gone. It's gone. I go back upstairs and I'm like, what's that smell? It's kind of like a nutty cookie. Was I cooking something? That constantly happens to me at this phase of life.
I think it's knowing your limits. Have I talked to you about my puzzling?
No.
Oh my God. So feeling. If only
How excited you just got. You were like, oh, wow.
absolutely love a puzzle. Had no idea. We had grandma stay at our house for a week last fall, and I went and bought all these puzzles because she likes to puzzle. Next thing you know, like I am glued to the table. Grandma and I are having a blast. I'm having a blast. I don't know how grandma felt about it. My husband, he watches a lot of football. I don't want to sit here and watch football, but I will if I have a puzzle.
If I have a puzzle.
He's like, if only I had known this would get you to hang out with me all night.
Puzzling is interesting because there has been times that my dad will get one out and I'll be like, no, I'm not doing it. And then finally something will happen where I'm like, okay, fine. And then once you get into it, it's legit.
Well, that's part of the problem is like the hyperfocus sets in. There was one day, like I got it out at 3 o'clock and next thing you know, it was bedtime. I was in the family room, everyone was around. I'm like, yeah, if you could just get dinner for them, that'd be great. Yeah, if you could do math. I'm still like full blown in this.
See, I just had another image in my head of like you're doing the puzzle and your family's just standing there in a row and your kids are like, Mom, we're hungry. And you're like, yeah, if you could just take care of that.
Hold on, let me just get this one section sorted and then I'll make everybody dinner 45 minutes later.
It's midnight, Mom.
Yeah, so I actually had to cut myself off from puzzling because I think it could be a problem.
It's an addictive personality thing.
Yeah. Oh. I think maybe if somebody had influenced me with puzzling younger, I probably would have done a lot less drinking in high school and maybe other bad things in my life if this was my anti-drug.